Tough day at the office today. So I had been working on a customer's property for about 5 days. We had a good discussion. We needed to have the backyard revamped. That's what she wanted to have. Initially, the conversation started, they wanted to remove a tree stump, which was the size of a house. Wasn't going to happen. But what you can do is dress it up around it, because they would have to bring something in to pull that out of the ground, and there's no way you can do that with even the biggest stump remover, because you got to get it up the hill where they live at first and foremost. You can do it. It can be done, but you're talking removing your fence. You might even need a permit to go up there with that type of equipment and to remove that stump. It's just not possible, especially for someone like myself. I don't have that type of equipment or experience, and they've had other people tell them the same thing. So she wanted to do a backyard revamp, which we did. I laid down 60 succulents, different sizes, 3 layers of rock, lava rock, red and black at 3/4, 1/2 inch in the stone size, and then a third crushed gold rock. It's called Sunset Gold Crushed Rock for their the backyard for the crowns of all the plants. Came out great. I trimmed every tree, every bush that was back there that was under the beds. Cleaned them out. Years of twigs and brush, and just the bed's never been cleaned, nothing. You know, that took me a day in itself out of what I had going on, because I like to schedule my time and work efficiently. Well, that didn't happen because I had to take care of that, but okay, still got it done. I had to move the rock by my truck, using my truck versus getting it delivered. So that cost me saved me an additional $175. That's what it was, $175 to bring the load through, when I was paying X amount of dollars per yard for the stone. Kind of just didn't make sense. Time, gas, physical effort. I had to move the stone out of my truck myself by hand. Then from there, put it on the ground, then reload it in a wheelbarrow, haul it up a hill that was a good 40, 50 yards. Unload it again and redo it. It took me several hours just to do that. We're talking 3,600 pounds of stone alone. That has nothing to do with the bags of mulch, not mulch, but the soil, the 50-pound bag of sand, the several bags of soil that I had to purchase as well. You know, it cost, and it's heavy, it's laborious. Well, that was for the backyard. There was a lot of additional stone left over because I over-purchased, which I'll take that on the head, because that's something that, I'd rather be prepared than unprepared and have to backtrack. And I could have just tightened up on my numbers when it came to purchasing something, but I seen something that I felt would really work, and I purchased it. The additional stone, that was like 8 or 9 bags of that crushed Sunset Gold stone that was used for crowns and pathways and under bushes and stuff, like highlighting. I ended up with several extra bags of that. Well, half the amount of that. of what I purchased, as well as a truck bed full of stone. The truck bed full of stone was on the ground in front of their house in an empty spot, which is like an additional driveway space that they have, but it's dirt filled. It needs to be revamped. They didn't request that to be revamped, and they thought that I should leave the rock there, spread it, and just revamp the front too. And they considered that maintenance. That's not maintenance. That's installation. That's altogether different. That is what I base my business off of, is actually landscape design. I'm not here to cut your grass or trim your bushes regularly. I want to come through and revamp what I see can be beautified with your property. Now, if you want to pay me to keep the maintenance of the work that I've done, that's perfectly fine. I'm willing to work something out to handle that. Doesn't take much time for me to come by and tighten up, make sure everything is up to par, bushes are trimmed out, because people don't take that time. They just whack and go when it comes to landscapers. You know, I'm gonna be honest, that's what I see, because there's a whole lot of stuff that needed to be done, and that's all I keep seeing when I'm going to do these revamps for people. But this is where I make my money at. You know, I put it together and I paint a portrait. And once the portrait is painted, I deliver. I don't hesitate. I don't play around. I'm on time. I work hard. 6, 7, 8 hours in a day straight. Just move. It took me 8 hours the last time I was there to move the rock up and down that hill, plus spread it. You're not going to include that in maintenance for your front yard. I have a whole truck bed of rock. See, this is when, you know, no need in talking. You just chill. But no. So look at this. This truck bed is full. Look at that. I'm supposed to leave that there, move it first off of spots, lay matting down, and then turn around, put the rock back on it as a maintenance, and I did you a service for free. I'm not in the business for working for free. This is a business. I would be out of business really quick if I worked off of those terms. Maybe I should have been a little bit more transparent in explaining that from the beginning, but I don't think it needed to be said. Why would it need to be said if I charged you to revamp your backyard with that rock? You think you're not going to pay me to do the front? And you're going to pay me a maintenance fee? Oh, that's included in the maintenance fee? No, it's not included in the maintenance fee. That's the reason why I charged you X amount of dollars, saved you $300 for the year. And on top of that, okay, yeah, you had to pay out of pocket half up front for the maintenance fee. It's the only way I was going to do it. I didn't want to do it in the beginning, and I told her that, and I expressed that that's not really what I'm into. I'm just into just doing landscape design, come through and knock some work out and keep moving and get the next project. Not coming by tending to your weeds and your bushes. I'm not there for that. I'm only there for that when I'm doing something that's creative and art-based as far as your landscape is concerned, bringing beauty to your property, not through trimming and weed whacking and blowing your yard. So yeah, she said she didn't want to pay for the rock. Well, there you go. I got the rock back. I scooped every bit of it. I said, are you sure now? You know, every conversation was polite, you know, and on point. I wasn't disrespectful. I've been transparent from day one. I have no reason to make up shit. But I'm not gonna work for free. I'm not gonna start giving away all this material and shit like that. You should see my garage with the rest of the shit from this job. That's something that I had to take on the head financially in the pocket. But that's cool because I also gave them a flat rate to do the job. For what I charged them, I could have got at least another $500 because it cost me about another $175 in materials alone to make sure everything ended off well. So I overpurchased, not a problem. But that rock I can get rid of, believe me. I can put it in someone else's landscape or do something in my own yard with it before I just give it away. I'm not in the business of giving away nothing. It's a business, not a handout, not a charity case. And I refuse to start a bad habit now and end up, you know, on the soup line. Yeah, right. Not gonna happen.